Thank you for joining us for the Ywam News Show for May of 2026. This month, we'll talk a lot about coffee. We'll look at why Samoa has become a missionary sending giant. We'll get a ministry update from North Africa, hear about the harvest in Sudan, hear what needs there are in Madagascar after Cyclone Gezani, share some prayer points, garner some wisdom from Steve Ahearn, and more.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Youth with a Mission News Show podcast. This is the 169th episode. We're your hosts, Bill Hutcherson and Lydia Hookentobler. You can contact us, subscribe to future episodes, leave comments, and find links to all the stories that we talk about in the show notes for this podcast at ywampodcast.com/169.
Well, thank you again, Lydia, for joining me for this. This is always fun.
Yeah, of course.
You've been busy over there in Norway?
Bill. Yes and no. We just recently on the 17th of May celebrated the 17th of May.
Okay.
Quite a big thing in Norway. So not so much work, a lot of celebrating.
Yep.
This is their Norway Day, and lots of ice cream, hot dogs, traditional clothing. And so more the hardly working than working hard.
That's always nice sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Bill?
Yeah, we've been busy. Still trying to settle into our property. We've had some fun experiences, some challenges. So this was, he visited us in the backyard a little while ago. So we had a kangaroo again. This was a koala. He was watching me work one day. So that was kind of funny. Don't know what he thought about me, but that's all right. This is one of the challenges that we ran into. So this was the shed I was going to use for an office, but if you're watching this and not listening, the shed sits at a 4-degree angle, kind of sloped downwards, and there's water flowing under the shed, which is not really where water is meant to be. So that's one of the things we need to fix up. That bigger property, so we get nice and dirty. So that was whippersnipping for the day.
Oh,
and then
that's fun.
Today I was fixing our door and I managed to snap the handle off. So
oh no.
I think the previous owners used indoor handles for the outdoor. So it kind of corroded. But thankfully it wasn't locked. So I was able to get back in. But yeah, that was kind of funny. That was the inside of the handle. So totally dissolved. Quite a mess. But
yeah,
it's all right. Some of the fun stuff that we get to deal with here. Yeah, we're settling in, getting there. If you are watching, hopefully we'll get a much better stream this time. Last time we were a bit choppy, so we've just made some changes, done some settings, fixes, and we'll see how we go. Let us know in the chat. Again, we're live on YouTube and on Facebook right now. We'd love to hear from you. The way we've set it up now is that if you guys send us a news story that's happening, we might even be able to share it live through the shared screen. So we'd love to hear what God is doing where you are and elsewhere around the world. So please let us know. So you have a fruit break again for us. And again, I haven't watched it, so we'll get to do the live react now.
It is week 2 for School of Worship. Let's see what they've been learning.
Last week was teaching about knowing God and intimacy, and I learned that the relationship with God is really a loving relationship, and so that really made me grow in my understanding of what God wants for me to be with Him.
I thought it was really cool they didn't mention leading worship once, because it was just all the focus went on intimacy with Jesus, and really that's the place you lead worship out of.
I've been learning how the Word of God, it's really the truth, and we can hold onto it. So if the Bible is saying that we can cry to God and He will answer, that's the truth. So we can cry to Him, we can come to Him, and He will answer. So yeah.
What I want from this school is just to know God more, know what true intimacy and what true worship is like, and how I can then overflow with that intimacy to then go out and be like Jesus' hands and feet wherever I am.
There we go. Week 2 of the School of Worship, eh?
Oh, yeah. So it's not week 2 anymore.
Oh,
I think they're in week 6 now.
Okay.
So, but Yeah.
That's good. And are you guys doing a like local ministry as well with the School of Worship and with the different music stuff that you guys are doing?
Yeah, we'll be having one tomorrow, actually, called the Song Cafe.
Okay. And you did a video for that, didn't you?
We did.
Good.
We did. And so maybe the video can explain a bit more than I can.
Awesome.
Wife, coffee, games, music, and meeting new friends came all together.
Welcome to the Song Cafe,
A night where we, students from the School of Worship, will perform our own original songs.
What the flip?
Why wouldn't you come? So see you next week at 7 p.m. on Thursday.
There you go. So that's fun. So is that cafe like connected to your location?
Yeah, it is. It's our Taste and See Cafe.
Okay.
And so they will be open while our School of Worship students, they will present testimonies, stories, songs that they have made, worship songs. And so, yeah, it's really nice to put the two together, music, stories, and coffee.
Good. So I did do I think last time when for the last episode, we talked a bit about coffee and some of the ministry and stuff that happened. I think we actually heard about the outreach to Japan and how just through that coffee connection, they managed to develop some good relationships and communications and stuff. So just sort of while we were looking at this, I thought I'd have a look at some of the different Ywam ministries when it comes to coffee. So I did a search on ywam.org because there's a really good search feature on there. And there's 109 different programs or places around Youth of the Mission that actually have coffee that's attached to their ministry. Now, whether that's they actually run a cafe or they do outreaches into cafes, that's some of the stuff that they've done. So I thought I'd highlight a few of them. There's 109, so we're not going to do all of them today because we'd be here for a while. But yeah, I thought we'd start with, this is the Global Coffee Initiative. So it's one of the ministries that focuses a lot on coffee, and their motivation is to love mercy and justice. And they're central to their motivation. We come alongside and lift marginalized people with time, resources, and effort. We believe training, partnering, and placement into the local coffee industries will better communities around the world. Now, they run courses around the world from roasting to baristas and also bean to cup. They also run multiple internships at many different locations. Now, you can check out ywamgci.com to find out more. Now, Australia does seem to pride itself on coffee. I know each capital city here claims to have the best coffee in Australia. And Ywam locations seem to have kind of the same trend. I don't know, when you were here for your DTS, Lydia, did you guys do a lot of like trips to the coffee shop and stuff?
Oh yeah, we had one right next to the church where we were doing our lecture phase.
Yeah.
And so during our breaks, we would run out there. It was called the Ugly Duck.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And so we would buy so much coffee during our breaks that they actually gave us like a Ywam discount.
Oh my gosh.
For all the coffees or anything that we'd buy there. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even start drinking coffee until I was on staff at Ywam, because at the time I was doing the media department and also staffing DTS. So we, and I started on instant coffee. So it's I still stomach it sometimes, but I don't prefer the instant coffees, that's for sure. A lot of people come to Australia and they're surprised that even McDonald's does good coffee in Australia, like with McCafe.
Oh, wow.
So, but
that is
hey,
impressive.
it's all right. So yeah, a lot of the Ywam locations, they also have there's a lot in Australia that do coffee ministries.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought I'd have a look at some of them. And the first one I started with is the Ywam Precinct Cafe, which is actually Ywam Townsville. So this is where I did my discipleship training school. Their coffee has definitely improved since I did it because, like I said, mine was home brand instant coffee, which is like your store brand. It wasn't great, but it was caffeine and it kept me awake during lectures because it's not good when your staff is falling asleep in the back row. So they run a not-for-profit cafe that's attached to the Ywam precinct, which is in downtown or in the CBD, Central Business District of Townsville. And there they can meet people for coffee and also interact with the public. Now over in Perth, they also have a neighborhood cafe called Leedman. Now this one, they serve excellent coffee and thoughtful, flavorful food, they say. The cafe is a great place for the Ywam staff and students to interact with the local patrons and is quite popular with the people around the area. Now, another Ywam location, so there's at least 3 in Australia that run their own cafe. And Brisbane runs their Meeting Place Cafe. So this focuses on creating a safe place to build community and extend hope to all in their local area. Their heart and vision is to use the cafe as a space filled with warmth, hospitality, and the love of God. They hope that everyone who comes will experience His presence in a way that touches and transforms their hearts by simply serving their community and building genuine connections. They pray this cafe becomes a meeting place where hearts find rest, friendships grow, and God's presence is near. Ywam Toowoomba actually runs a discipleship training school that has a focus on cafe and barista outreach. The idea is to allow students to explore their passion for coffee while deepening their spiritual journey.
Yeah, here in Europe, there's also a very strong coffee culture. I already shared about the Song Cafe happening here, but there's so many others too. Ywam Serbia also has a cafe ministry where they love all things coffee, from making it to serving it, to talking about it, to tasting it. Coffee is a really big part of their culture there. And they plan to open a coffee house in Uzece, and to engage with young people where they are at with God, and seeing their lives transformed as they realize the love that He has for them. Another one in Europe is Ywam Amsterdam, and they have their priesthood cafe right in the Amsterdam Central. It's quite popular. They want to create a community with neighbors and show hospitality to the tourists. Their desire is to reflect God's kingdom in the way that they live out their faith. They use coffee to connect with people and tell about what God has done in their lives. The Oval Cafe is a specialty coffee shop in the Ywam Harpenen base grounds in the UK. It actually started as a meeting place for staff and guests, but now so much people. It's really a popular hub for the community to come and join in at their cafe. But what's also fun about their cafe is that it not only serves the community, but also provides training for hospitality and discipleship, which is really nice. In another one, in Constanța, Romania, Ywam runs the Next Door Community Center that includes a comfy cafe that has themed nights, neighborhood barbecues, and more to engage in their city, introducing them into the atmosphere of life, peace, and joy. At the community center, they also offer Alpha courses and other seminars to give visitors the opportunity to discover Jesus. Another one in Europe is Ywam Budapest. They open up their ministry location every Friday night to the public with live music and quality artisan coffee. They have found this to be a fantastic way to engage with the community and build deep, meaningful relationships with the people living around them. Even in Moscow, Ywam is doing a coffee shop / cafe ministry evangelism. Understandably, we do not have that much information about it, but here's a link on the show notes where you can try to get in touch if you're interested.
So I do want to just take a break and just say thank you to those who are listening live. So we have Genti over on Facebook, and then we've got Mario and Gabe over on YouTube. So thank you for joining us. Gabe says he loves coffee, so I think just about most people I find in Ywam love coffee, and it's kind of a universal beverage, I'd say. So if we do want to bounce over to America, we can see that there's also many locations there that are engaging in ministry. So in Zapopan, Mexico, they have the Cerquita Cafe, which is a project that was born as an idea to create a non-profit cafeteria where all profits from the business are offered to Christian missionaries who work full-time. The cafe in the Zapopan area is a place where they can share the joy of friendship, coffee, and coexistence with all types of people, reflecting the character and love of Christ. Now, over in Colorado Springs, they have the Kairos Coffee Ministry, where their goal is to impact their community and the world for the better. It's a ministry that values the people more than the coffee, and where they want to be a go-to place for the community, a place to recharge and connect with like-minded people. Now, Ywam runs Coffee at the Hub in Wiley, Texas. It is a coffee shop with a purpose. Their delicious coffee beans are grown around the world, and 100% of the profits from each cup are used for local and global missions. The shop's an amazing place to connect with the community, read or study, and be refreshed. Now, way up north in Alaska, Ywam's Last Frontiers Ministries actually runs their Last Frontier Coffee. The goal for the Last Frontier Coffee is to reach out to the local seasonal workers who come to work at Denali National Park for the cruise lines and build relationships with them through the Pavilion Area Relationship Strategy. The Bridge Cafe in Ywam, Denver, and is dedicated to be a bridge to the local community and the nations. They want to partner with what is happening both locally and overseas by offering the coffee shop as a place to gather. They believe the gospel can transform the hardest and darkest places on the planet, so they're committed to equipping those who have been called to go. This could be through worship nights, prayer, or a conversation over coffee.
Over in Asia, there is again many places running cafe ministry centers, cafes or ministry centers where coffee plays an important role. The Gospel Cafe at Ywam, Okinawa, is a welcoming space and where community, creativity, and message of Jesus naturally comes together. Located on the base, it serves as a bridge between the Ywam community and the wider Okinawan public through good coffee, simple hospitality, authentic conversation. More than just a cafe, it's a place for connection, outreach, discipleship, and where relationships are formed. Stories are shared, and the love of God can also be expressed in everyday moments. In Cambodia, Cafe Eden is a business as missions project that is focused on investing in the future of the Khmer people. The aim is to empower Cambodians through teaching them new skills and creating jobs, allowing them to become stronger and more resilient while maintaining their dignity. The goal of the cafe is to create jobs and pour the profit back into the community through ministries where it will create more jobs, get children off the streets, continue to empower Cambodians to create a better life for themselves. The Cafe Eden has been there since December 2010 and has been very successful in achieving these goals. Elsewhere, in Cambodia, you will find the Utica Cafe, which Utica means anchor in Khmer. The cafe is a safe place to enjoy drinks, snacks together. They have trained other baristas in town, catered events, and did promotions for youth of their YDC and soccer programs, which is really fun. And they also said that it was not just a blessing for the community, but a blessing for themselves as well, where a place to rest and to have meetings and one-on-ones. In Thailand, 2 different ministries run outreach centers. They engage with at-risk communities and refugees. The Bon Dem Rock Community Center and the Shan Outreach Center both work with their corresponding communities to provide training, employment, and safe place to experience Jesus' love. You're probably asking, where's the coffee part in this? But the centers are also a place to meet, eat, and of course, engage in conversation over a hot or cold cup of coffee.
So we will link to all of these ministries in the show notes. Now, that's definitely not an exhaustive list. Like I said, there's 109 just listed on the ywam.org website. Now, back in 2021, in episode 123 of the Ywam News Show, I shared about a half dozen other coffee ministries that are happening in Youth with a Mission. If you head over to ywampodcast.com/123, you can check them out. And if you search for coffee on the ywam.org website, you can see what current opportunities there are and what else is happening.
We heard about 2 of the ministries at Ywam, Thailand that are doing what they're doing in the country, and here's a short clip about some more of what they're doing.
Early on in our history, God used Ywam, Thailand to impact the surrounding nations. After many years of training and expanding, we've witnessed hundreds of local ministries birthed and begin to multiply. Ywam, Thailand is now poised and ready to again go to the nations. We have heard the call of God and are responding. So whether we are living in the kingdom of Thailand and serving the marginalized and the unreached, or receiving teams who are called here to make God known, or training up the next generation to know God and have their lives transformed, together we will impact the nations with the good news of Jesus. We are preparing. We are going. We are catching the next wave. We are jumping in. We are Youth with a Mission, Thailand.
Over at the ywamthai.org, you can find out more about their ministry, including over 24 locations and many ministry opportunities.
Ywam Juba in South Sudan sent us this ministry update. Today we witnessed something beautiful in our community that reminded us that ministry is not only inside church walls, ministry happens wherever Jesus leads us. God has blessed Ywam Juba with a piece of land for agriculture. And as we went to dig and prepare the ground for planting vegetables, something unexpected happened. Members of the community gathered around us. What began as digging the soil became an opportunity to sow seeds into hearts. We shared the gospel of Jesus Christ with them right there in the field, and together we prayed. As we spoke about God's love and His salvation, people listened with open hearts. Some shared their struggles and needs, and we could see that God was touching lives. This became a testimony for us. When we obey God, He creates opportunities beyond what we imagine. We thought we were going to cultivate land, but God was already preparing a harvest of souls. People often say in Juba, people don't dig. But God spoke something different to us: dig and plant. So we chose obedience, not only planting vegetables for the base, but planting hope, faith, and the gospel into the community around us. This land is more than a garden. It's becoming a place of provision, prayer, and transformation. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Matthew 9:37. Please continue to pray with us as we dig, plant, and preach the good news. The field is ready and God is moving. You can follow along for more updates on Facebook at Ywam Juba, South Sudan.
Last episode, we shared a praise report from Ywam Koha's ships that they had gotten all the funds that they needed for the ship, and now we come with the newest update that it is back on the water.
Hey, kia ora all. It's a great day for us here at Ywam Ships. The Ywam Koha is finally back in the water. You can see her over my shoulder. Just was relaunched after 5.5 weeks out of the water here in Titan Marine Engineering in Auckland. She's finally back. We're so excited. It just feels like every moment like this is so significant when the ship moves. Just a sense of that God is with us, we're advancing, we're moving forward. As you can see, there's still scaffolding on the ship, there's still a bit of painting left to do, but it's all above water stuff. Everything below the water is finished, completed, painted. The ship is in such good condition now. We're so grateful for all the work that's been done, and we're really grateful for all the support, the hundreds of people that have contributed to enable this to happen. We're so grateful. We're here for another couple of weeks, back to Tauranga end of the month, and then June, we're going to set sail, arriving in Suva end of June, to go again, to bring hope, empower health in the Pacific for another year. We're so grateful. Stay tuned for more updates.
Head over to ywamshipsaotearoa.org.nz to find out more.
Now, even though Samoa only has a population of 210,000 people, it's become a powerful sending nation. And the way that it's happened really is quite an amazing story.
This is Samoa. We're traveling here to find out how these small islands in the Pacific became the center of one of the greatest mission-sending movements in history, and to see if God can do it again. Over the last months, we've traveled across the Pacific to see what's happening in this region of the world. And we start at this cluster of islands, located 4,000 kilometers from the nearest continental landform.
It's here that God did something that you wouldn't expect.
To understand what God did, we first need to look back to 1816, where we meet a 20-year-old tradesman about to be sent out to missions in the Pacific Islands.
This is John Williams, and he's not your typical missionary.
He isn't a trained scholar or successful preacher, but instead an ironworker from London. At a young age, Williams was radically converted and felt called to bring the gospel to the Pacific Islands.
1830, John Williams and the Tahitians and also the Cook Islanders brought the gospel to Samoa.
This is Uncle Fono. He's the former director here at the University of the Nations in Samoa, and I asked him how the gospel came to the Pacific.
The most interesting thing for me was the ship. He was sent a letter saying that there is no money and there's no ship to take him from Tahiti or the Cook Islands to Samoa to bring the gospel. So what he did was that he built a ship.
This is the Messenger of Peace, the vessel that John Williams used to sail westward from Tonga to Samoa. But this wasn't an ordinary ship. This 60-foot scooter was made with homemade nails from an abandoned anchor, sealant made from coconut fiber, and sails made from papyrus mats.
So to me, that's really amazing. When we don't have anything, we just move as God moves.
Among John Williams' crew was this man, Chief Fawea, a Samoan who had met Williams in Tonga. Together they sailed to Samoa to bring the gospel there for the very first time.
They came and went to the leaders of the nation. And I think that was why the impact was very fast and also really huge.
And this success is largely accredited to the knowledge and cultural insight that Fawea brought to the mission.
I've been going through these old mission reports from the London Missionary Society and found something interesting. Within the first 100 years of the gospel coming to Samoa, they sent out 400 missionaries, which is about 3 to 4% of their entire population if you include women and children. If America sent out that many missionaries per capita today, that would be 3.5 million people, which means that this small nation in the middle of the Pacific Island became the greatest sending missions movement per capita in human history. And there's a reason why.
We're here at a mission sending school in Samoa, not too different from the one that John Williams of Hawaii started.
Hey, what's up everyone? My name is David and we are here at Ywam Samoa. We're going to give you a tour.
These guys are using the same model of indigenous-led training, sending, and multiplying that John Williams pioneered 200 years ago.
Hey guys, so this is our new pickleball court that we've made last year. We're over here in our outdoor kitchen. So if you see on this side, these are a lot of coconut husks right here. You use them for the fire. The science lab right here. We're gonna do a lot of experiments and laboratory experiments. And we're gonna have a lot of classes here.
The Samoans over here, they wanted to do more. They all wanted to go out to missions. So they started the training, missionary training. And then the Holy Spirit just moved people and then give them a desire to multiply what God has put in their hearts.
The secret to this model is both in its speed and its multiplication. John Williams trained a handful of islanders to teach in his schools. These teachers were highly effective because they understood the language and the culture. And these teachers would train islanders as they traveled back and forth from the field.
These guys would travel for days and weeks to the other islands. And the ships that we use today are really big, but the ships that they used then, they're very small. But they went, and many of them died in those nations, died in Vanuatu. Some of them died because of illnesses and diseases, but some of them also died because they were eaten by the local people of New Hebrides.
And they traveled in these canoes.
It's basically how to build a canoe. We built this, yeah. So there's 2 canoes. There's one on this side and the other side. Let's go to that side.
Today we don't need to sail across the ocean, but there's something I find just fascinating about the islanders building these canoes and venturing into missions. I wanted to ask David about what it looks like today for his team. They've been visiting churches and schools, calling the next generation into missions. But instead of just interviewing him, I wanted to do something a little more interesting. Alright, we are on our way to the water. Really rainy, so see what happens.
He was like, he's laughing because he's looking at me and he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm jumping on the canoe. He's like, what? I will ford my boat. I will go across the reef. And I will not come back. The whole thought of inviting the teams, we wanted to raise an awareness for people to realize, like, hey, we got Samoan missionaries all over the world. Going around the islands here in Samoa is one of the greatest blessings we've experienced so far, because
Oh, hi there. This is Editing Liam. I know what you're thinking. Getting into that little canoe with a big Samoan man, probably not the best idea. Rest in peace, David's mic. Oh my gosh. But as you watch me and David recover, I want to tell you about our 6-month discipleship school. If you want to go on an outreach just like this one, or you want to learn more about God than 7 years of church, I did the math. Come and do our DTS school running this year. More information down below. Anyway, back to the video.
why the islanders? I believe for a nation so small, I believe that, and I know this for a fact, a nation so small has done so much in the world. Not just Samoa, there are other Pacific islands as well. What I've noticed is when it comes to missions, Samoa has literally a great impact. Like it's in us, you know, the spirit to fight, the spirit of not giving up, the spirit of going beyond what is expected. Because in our whole DNA, we're just fierce warriors, you know?
David and his team saw hundreds of islanders say yes to the Great Commission. And although it's not quite what John Williams saw 200 years ago, there's still a sense that God is bringing a missions movement again to the Pacific Islands.
I believe God is doing it again. And I call it a tsunami wave of missionaries. And so we are to be prepared for that one.
Uncle Fono explained to me that this first wave of missions went only to the Pacific. Then this next wave of missions in the 1900s went further into Asia. But today, this third wave is being sent into this region of the world.
They're believing that islanders and this legacy of an indigenous-led missions movement is the key for the gospel to break into this region of the world. And this got me thinking. John Williams' story ended when he was martyred bringing the gospel to one of the other islands. But his legacy and the storyline of missions in the Pacific is still alive today through hundreds of islanders who are saying yes to the call of missions. Islanders like Uncle Fono or David who are believing for another missions movement to come out of the Pacific, to see islanders trained and sent into some of the darkest places in the world.
We can eat anything, we can sleep anywhere, and we can live anywhere. And then when an islander is in love with Jesus, they're ready to die, you know.
And it's hard to say what this next wave will look like, but I can't help but feel that that same spirit of sacrifice and pioneering and ingenuity that brought the gospel across the Pacific 200 years ago is the same spirit that is going to bring the gospel to the nations today. Hey, if you liked this video, we have a bunch more coming just like it. We traveled to a remote island in Fiji, got to see thousands of young people say yes to Jesus in New Zealand, and met a missionary legend in Japan. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos.
Yeah, so if you head over to ywamsamoa.org, you can find out more about what Samoa is doing and how they're sending people into the nations. You can also find out how maybe you can get involved. Now that video, like they said, was produced by Ywam Ships Kona. Now they're producing some really amazing video and media. We've actually shared some of it on previous episodes, and we're going to continue to share it. And if you head over to their website, please subscribe to their YouTube channel and their website as well, so you can find out more about what's happening and more about what God is doing in the islands where they're creating all of this fantastic content. Now, Ywam San Salvador was actually recently in North Africa on outreach, and they sent us this update. So 2 weeks in North Africa, where nearly 99% of the population practices Islam. As a team, we've been walking through cities in small groups, praying, interceding, and building genuine friendships with the people God places in our path. Through prayer walks and simple conversations, we've seen the Lord open doors and share our faith and pray for personal needs. We also had the opportunity to gather local believers, other teams, and long-term workers to pray for this nation and encourage one another. The culture here is deeply rooted in tradition and religion, yet we can also see a real spiritual hunger in many hearts. We continue believing that every conversation, prayer, and act of love can plant an eternal seed. Now you can find out more about Ywam San Salvador's ministry and their outreach on their Facebook page, which we'll link to in the show notes at ywampodcast.com/169.
So we're going to get into the events section of our podcast. We only have one coming up. And if you have said yes to Ywam years ago and then life happened, Ywam Kansas City wants you to know that God is not finished with you yet and invite you to the reunion.
Do you remember the first time you really believed that God could use you to change the world?
Maybe it was on a DTS. Maybe it was on outreach. Maybe it was in a worship session at 2 a.m. when the presence of God was so strong you couldn't stand up.
Something happened to you in that season, something that never fully went away.
And then life kept moving. A career, a family, a change of location, a season that looked nothing like the mission field.
But here's what I've learned after years in the movement. The people who went through YWAM, they never really leave. They carry the nations in their hearts wherever they go. They pray for places most people can't find on a map. They still call people from YWAM family, and they mean it. When they run into another YWAMer, you know what we say? Once a YWAMer, always a YWAMer.
It's time to come back together, not just to remember what was, but to step into what's next. The family is gathering in Kansas City, June 11th, 12th, and 13th.
3 days of prayer, worship, and missions. John Dawson will be there, the YWAM family will be there, we'll be reunited, and it's completely free.
This is not a conference, this is not a concert, this is the reunion, a gathering for everyone who has ever said yes to the Great Commission.
God is not finished with you yet. Your story is still being written. Join us in June with John Dawson, and we'll discover together what God has in mind for our lives.
There you have it. Don't forget, June 11th to the 13th, Kansas City, and for anyone called to the Great Commission. For more information, you can visit their Instagram or website to register for free at YWAM Kansas City.
So the YWAM location, Place of Springs in Spain, will be hosting the Wilderness Encounters hiking retreat in October of this year. So this is a week-long retreat combining guided mountain hiking with daily reflections shaped by the theme Wilderness Encounters, exploring how we meet with God in wild and spacious places. The retreat's facilitated by certified spiritual directors and a trained mountain leader, offering a unique integration of spiritual direction, reflection, and safe mountain walking. They anticipate a rich time of encounter in community and nature. You can check them out at placeofsprings.net to find out more.
Neighbors and Nations is a touring ministry of Ywam Harpenen. They are sending teams from young missionaries to partner with local churches across the UK and Europe. They believe God is calling a generation to live fully surrendered lives to Him. They want to empower to make Him known at schools, universities, workplaces, communities, and the nations. With that, Ywam Harpenen started the School of Mobilization.
Over the last couple of years as a team, we set out with a vision to see God awaken a generation in Europe. And we've been blown away by what we've been seeing God do.
So that's why we started the School of Mobilization. We wanted to immerse young leaders in the life of our Neighbors and Nations team and empower them to mobilize their generation all across Europe. So we went on tours throughout the UK. We gathered thousands of young people. We preached the gospel boldly, and we even pioneered new tours into Europe, all while getting classroom teaching, going through prayer and worship together. It was an awesome time.
Throughout the school, we've covered topics like the kingdom of God, the life of a revivalist, prayer, and revival history in the UK.
We've also talked about team leadership, personal development, pioneering apostolic movements, and engaging in today's global youth culture, all topics that are crucial to the conversation of mobilization.
But this school is not just about information, it's about activation. And last school we sent out 5 teams across Europe to preach the gospel, partner with local churches, and empower believers to live missionally.
It's amazing to see what God is doing in my nation, the Netherlands. During one of our events, 2 guys came. They didn't know who we were, they didn't know who God was, but someone just invited them. That night, they encountered God and both gave their life to Jesus.
During our time in Germany, we have seen how Jesus is revealing Himself to all kinds of people. We believe that there's a generation out there that is ready to receive the full gospel.
Throughout our time touring the UK and Europe during the school, we had 99 different events gathering with over 4,600 people. 118 people made first-time decisions to follow Jesus, and we witnessed God physically heal 41 people. God is raising up a new wave of missional leaders across Europe who are going to build movements to reach and mobilize their generation, and we want you to be a part of it.
So come join us this September here at Ywam Harpenden for the School of Mobilization. You can register interest or apply at the Ywam Harpenden website. We can't wait to see you guys there.
If you're a Ywam-based church or ministry and is interested in hosting one of these teams, you can reach out at neighborsandnations.co.uk. Now,
we have some really exciting update for a brand new Ywam location that's being added to the map. So Ywam New Renaissance is in Florence, Italy. So it's a very unique Ywam base that has a big heart for the arts. They'll be running their first arts DTS this July. They'll be partnering with the Professional Florence Classical Arts Academy. They want you to make art to make him known. If you have a heart for missions and art, consider joining their team as staff. You can find them on Instagram or on the website at Ywam Florence. You can also check out the Ywam Florence Classical Arts Academy website for what you could take out and learn at this opportunity, and that's at artac.org.
East coast of Madagascar is still recovering from a devastating cyclone that hit them on the 11th of February.
Have you ever faced a trauma where you felt like time should just stand still for a while?
We have experienced, together with whole Malagasy cities, villages, and communities, a trauma that forced life to stop.
The east coast of Madagascar, particularly Tamatave or Tuamasina, was hit by the most devastating cyclone in the last 30-odd years. Up to 75% of Tuamasina have been destroyed.
It is estimated the city won't have power for the next 2 to 3 months, with water slowly returning now.
18,000 homes no longer exist. 50,000 homes have been damaged or flooded.
The reality is that most people's possessions are destroyed by water, dust, and mud, including the little food they had.
The resilience of the Malagasy people is remarkable, to continually stand up amidst severe poverty and challenges.
We want to ask your help to support the resilience of Malagasy people. This is a chance for all of us to feed the hungry and clothe the naked. We would like to support the Mercy Ministries team members, their loved ones, or neighbors who lost their homes or roofs with food parcels to sustain them for the next few days.
Our vision, together with the team, is also to support the villages around Tamatave, where Mercy Ministry has relationship through church planting with basic food needs.
We need your help. Please donate towards our crisis.
Even the smallest contribution can cover a meal of rice and beans.
Thank you.
That video showed some of the work that the Mercy Ships is doing in Madagascar and what the situation is like there too. Ywam Ships Switzerland also has a ship there, the Island Reach, working to provide relief to the people affected by Cyclone Gezani. If you'd like to find out more about the Ywam team is doing there or donate to help with the relief work, you can also go to the website at ywamships.ch.
Now, once again, Ywam globally joined together on the second Thursday of the month for the invitation. Thank you for joining us this month as we take up the invitation and join together with thousands of Ywams from around the world as we pray and hear from God. This month, we'll be praying for the quiet revival. Young believers in Jesus in the UK, USA, New Zealand, and other countries are coming back to the church, reading their Bibles and getting more involved in volunteer work. That's the finding of numerous recent studies, including from the Bible Society in the UK, who have recently revised their 2024 findings, Barna in the USA, and the Baptist Church in New Zealand. Some have called this trend the quiet revival. This is exciting news for Ywam as we seek to inspire and guide young people to fulfill the Great Commission. Please take a moment right now to pray for this renewed interest in Jesus among youth and for Ywam's efforts to lead many into missions. Please also pray with us on May the 14th, the prayer day for Ywam's prayer initiative called The Invitation. Ways you can pray. First, you can pray that this trend won't dwindle, but will be the first fruits of a greater move of God to come. You can also pray for Gen Z, who are already showing signs of being a missional generation. Let's be praying for a bold witness to arise from Generation Z. Pray for the local church for more unity, creativity, missions, and releasing of young leaders. Also, you can pray for Neighbors and Nations, neighborsandnations.co.uk, which is a YWAM ministry in the UK that consists of traveling teams of young worship leaders and mission speakers who go to churches and youth groups around the UK, fanning the flames of passion for Jesus and involvement in missions, taking action. You can read more about research on various websites, which we'll link to in the letter, which is at ywam.org/theinvitation. First is the Bible Society in the UK at biblesociety.org.uk. Also Barna in the USA at barna.com. And Baptists in New Zealand at christiantoday.com. We'll link to the specific articles again at ywam.org/theinvitation. Joining the invitation. Sign up for prayer emails and find translations in many languages at ywam.org/theinvitation. You can also contact us at prayer@ywam.org to let us know how you prayed, to recommend a prayer topic, or to request an advanced copy of the prayer guide. So thank you for joining us this month as we pray for the quiet revival, and we look forward to hearing from you and to praying with you again in the future. So the invitation is a great time to join with the tens of thousands of YWAM staff and students who are around the world as we all pray together. It's exciting to see revival happening in our youth and to be able to partner with God in that, whether through the evangelism, through the courses that we've talked about, or through training and through prayer. So one of the training opportunities is the YWAM Coffee School in Walker, Louisiana. And they'll be running their next one, Roasting, Brewing, and Barista School from July 19th to August 8th. Now, if you want to learn how to make coffee for your own coffee ministry, like we talked about earlier in this episode, or if you just want to feed your own addiction, you can have that opportunity through the Global Coffee Initiative Ministry. Head over to ywamgci.com to find out more.
We are now reaching the end of this episode, but before we do, I wanted us to take away some wisdom from Steve.
Bonus edition. So what's one advice that you have for painful relationships these days?
Often, pain remains in a relationship because we cannot see the person the way God sees them. And I've had long-term painful relationships with people, but the moment God reveals to me his heart, how he sees them, all the grace in the world floods in, and I'm able to deal with that relationship wonderfully well. So one thing I would advise is pray and ask God, how do you see this person? Can you please show me? Give me your heart. Second thing.
And that concludes this month's episode. If you want to follow along with the work that I'm doing with my team, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at YWAM Mobiland.
If you want to follow the YWAM podcast, you can find links to everything at ywampodcast.com. And for myself, my personal website is billhutchison.org. So thank you to those who joined us live. It looks like we had about 135 people watch us at different points. So that's amazing. Thank you for those of you too who left comments. It's really good to get that feedback and interaction. So everything we talked about can be found at ywampodcast.com/169. There's a lot of ministries that we dealt with, a lot of stuff that God is doing around the world. It's really exciting to hear what's happening. Lydia, I look forward to hearing next time the stuff that you guys are doing. I love the fruit shorts and all the videos you do. So it's good.
Oh, thank you.
We're also going to continue to try
We'll be waiting for more.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh. No, we'll also be waiting for more house updates from you.
Yes. Well, hopefully we actually get some. Everything seems to move so slow, but it's all right. Also, if you are subscribed to us on YouTube or Facebook, we're trying to put out some shorts as well. It's just clips from the podcast. So you can always find those, again, through our Facebook page or YouTube channel or on ywampodcast.com. So thank you very much. And we really look forward to catching up with you next time and telling you what else God is doing around the world, and look forward to catching up with you, Lydia.
Likewise. Thank you, Bill.